Hello students, welcome to history class. Today we are going to study the great uprising of 1857. So students, in our previous chapters and all, we have seen that the British East India Company, they came to India for trade, and how they conquered the places and they started the administration in India, isn't it? So now the conquest and administration of the East India Company have faced a massive rebellion from the Indians now. So this was started in May 1857 here. So this rebellion, it has got different names. Okay, so that is the revolt of 1857, the Sepoy mutiny, the first war of independence. So like this, different names are given for this rebellion. The revolt of 1857, it was the result of accumulated grievance of the Indian people against the company's administration. So this also shows the Indian strong dislike against the rule of the foreign powers here. So some of the historians, they call this rebellion as the first war of independence also. So there had been earlier several revolts in India, okay, that was against the British rule here. So for various reasons they were revolting against the Britishers here. So this revolt, it took place in the military rising here. Okay, so now we'll see what are the main causes of the discontent against the British Raj here. First we'll take the political causes. So here students, Lord Dalhousie, he became the Governor General of India from 1848 to 1856. So that time he had introduced so many policies for expansion of the British rule here. So, Dalhousie, he studied the history of India and he came to know that in India the kingship was hereditary. So the kings, what they were doing, they were, if they don't have their own sons, they were adopting a son from the royal family itself. Okay. So now Dalhousie will make a policy called as doctrine of lapse. So according to this, the kings or the queens, those who don't have their real son, then their kingdom was automatically, it was going to the British rule here. Okay, so for this some of the kings, queens, they requested the British, the Governor General not to take their kingdoms. Like Rani Lakshmi Bai of Jhansi, she wanted her adopted son to be recognized as the next king here. And even Nana Sahib, he was the adopted son of Peshwa Bajirao II, and because he was the adopted son, his pension was stopped. His father's pension was stopped here. Okay, so even due to their request also, the British East India Company, they become arrogant towards them. Okay, so even the company, they make a plan to end up the Mughal dynasty itself. So for that, the name of the Mughal king was removed from the coins minted by the company, and in 1849 Governor General Dalhousie, he announced that after the death of Bahadur Shah Zafar, the family of the kings would be shifted from Red Fort to other place in Delhi. And even in 1856, the Governor General Canning, he decided that Bahadur Shah Zafar would be the last Mughal king, and after that, his children will not use the name Mughal kingdom's name. They will not use. And Lord Dalhousie had annexed Awadh to the British Empire on the pretext of mismanagement. So, like this, most of the country was under the British Raj now. So, those states which were not directly under them had the British residents in their courts, and so they dared not to fight against the company. So, this was the political causes. Next, we'll see about the social and religious causes here. So, the English introduced a number of changes in the Indian society, like they abolished sati, forbidden child marriage, allowed widow remarriages, banned girl child infanticide. So the Orthodox Hindus, they got angry now. Understood? So they revolted against the British Raj here. Next is that the Christian missionaries, they made criticisms on Hindus and Muslims, and they tried to convert Indians to Christianity by offering them good jobs and positions here. And even the introduction of the railways, that meant that the lower caste and the upper caste, they were made to sit together and travel. Okay, so the Orthodox Hindus, they did not like this. Okay, making lower caste and the upper caste to sit together and travel in one compartment. The government made teachings of Christianity in government schools and jails obligatory. Then a law of 1850 provided that a converted Christians would get the property of their ancestors. Okay, so this indirectly encouraged the people to embrace Christianity here. And the spread of Western culture and English education was resented by the orthodox sections of the society, as they thought that it would be an affront to their authority and influence. So, all these measures provided resentment in the general public. So next we'll go to the economic causes here. So economic exploitation of India and her people became the most potent cause of unrest here. So that is the English company and her officials, they carried away India's wealth to England in several ways. So we'll see how the wealth of India was going to England here. So, by abolishing duties on British goods and imposing heavy duties on Indian products, Indian industries and crafts were ruined by the British. And in this time only, the industrial revolution had taken place. So that time in England, textile industries were opened. So for these textile industries, the raw materials was taken from India. Okay, for cheap rate, raw cottons and raw materials were taken to the England's factory here, and India became the market for their finished goods here. Then, by paying high salaries to the company's officials, both in civil and military administration in British India and princely states, you can see that India's wealth was drained away to England. isn't it? So whatever the salary, everything, they are not spending here for any developmental work. So they were taking all the salary or the wealth to their natives here. Okay, so this was a kind of drain of wealth. Next, we can see the military cause here. So the Indian soldiers, they were discriminated and they were considered like inferiors. The Indian soldiers, they could not hope for the rise in the hierarchy of the army, as the promotions was not given to them, because all high post was given to the European officers. And there was a great disparity between salaries of the Indians and European soldiers also, because same post of the Indian soldier and the European soldier, but the salary difference was more here. Okay, so a European soldier was getting the double salary of the Indian here, and the Indian soldiers were made to forcefully, they were made to cross the sea. So the Indian soldiers, like Hindus and Muslims, both they had a feeling, or they were thinking that they would lose their religion and the caste if they cross the sea here. So in 1824, the sepoys were told to go to Burma by sea route to fight for the company. So when these soldiers, when they refused to go through the sea, and they told that they will go by land route, so the soldiers, those who refused to go through the sea, they were given severe punishment here. Okay. So in 1856, the company passed a new law which stated that every new person who took up the employment in the company's army had to agree to serve overseas in required. Okay, so this affected the religious sentiments of the Indians here, both Hindus and Muslims. Next, we'll see the immediate cause here. So the company had introduced one Enfield rifle in the Indian army. So there was a rumor spread telling that these Enfield rifles, it was greased cartridges, and it was greased by the pig's fat and the cow's fat here. So the soldiers, those who are using this Enfield rifle, they had to bite the end of the cartridges before using. So both Hindus and Muslim soldiers, they refuse to use this cartridges because they think that it will pollute their religion here, because for Hindus cows were sacred and for Muslims pig was untouchable. So when the British East India Company, when they forced the soldiers to use the Enfield rifle, it affected their religious feeling here. Okay, so this feeling produced a spark to inflame the uprising of 1857 here. So this event, it became the immediate cause for the war of 1857. So children, I hope today's class was clear to you all. We'll continue our class in our next video. Okay. Thank you children. Have a nice day.